something this morning about Christmas.
Christmas in England, yeah.
Yeah.
Winnie wrote a letter saying that this cottage that she saw over to Greenfield, she said had, I think it was Mary Cotton. I'm not too sure. It goes that name. But it had the hoop up around the light in the center of the room. And she said, I've heard you often say that you trim the hoop for Christmas. You put oranges and apples, and that's what it was there. And she said this cottage was very beautiful, and the things that's in it put her in mind of hearing me talking when she was a child.
Did you have a Christmas tree at all?
A Christmas tree? Christmas tree. No, we had a Christmas tree on the table. My father would always pay 10 shillings for a Christmas tree. But it was on a table. But this was out in the kitchen.
Oh, I see.
Out in the kitchen, a big hoop.
Would that be fresh fruit?
Fresh fruit? No, I never saw plastic.
No, there wouldn't have been at that time.
Fresh fruit was on there, and we'd string them up, and we'd string what else we would make? These papers that goes in.
Yeah.
Roll them all
paper
around.
chains.
Then string from one end of the room to the other. We couldn't get over that way because the fireplace was that way. So we'd string from one end to the other up to the stairs and going up. But it was very beautiful for Christmas. And we had on our mantelpiece sets of brass candlesticks, and they would go from tall right down to the small.
Tall on the outside, and then come in this way.
Right down small. And then behind them there was two big brass vases, plain, just a plain brass vases. And we had made tapers to put in. We had to save them to put the tapers in. That when my father lighted his pipe, he would take one of them out and put it in the fireplace and light his pipe. Matches were too expensive. And that's what they used to do. And for Christmas dinner, we would have the tradition dinner of roast beef.
Yorkshire pudding?
Yorkshire pudding, roast beef, plum pudding. Plum pudding, no, plum pudding. And we'd have that all together in this great big kitchen made with a homemade table with the legs this big, down in the brick.
Set in
the brick, big table. Franklin, a window that would go out the yard. It wasn't very beautiful, and yes, it was. When I come to think of it, when the ivy come down the wall like this, all down the wall, you didn't see the court, but you saw the ivy coming down this great wall. And that was set for Christmas. On Christmas we would have the Christmas dinner. But Christmas Eve, the stockings would be filled and put up on the bed, each one. And I remember one Christmas, I couldn't have been very old. And they were talking about Father Christmas, no Santa Claus, yeah, Father Christmas. And they said, Father Christmas is coming tonight. And Mother said after she saw me, she would never do it again. I was just petrified. I don't know why. And I could not go to sleep. They couldn't hang the stockings up until I went to sleep. Well, evidently I must have went to sleep. But when I told Mother, I was so afraid. Did he come? Sure. Your stockings were there. You found your stockings, didn't you? Yes. Well, I never saw him, but I thought I never slept. So she said never again would she ever say that Father Christmas was coming. She said she never thought he would play on anyone like that. And we'd have this room, and my father would light each fireplace in the morning for us to dress by and let it die down. And then by the time that he was ready to go to bed, they would be set in again, ready for morning, so that he could get out, strike a match, and light them. And that's what he did. That's what we had on Christmas. Did we go to church? We went to midnight mass. We went to church. The Methodists had like a midnight mass opened. The Church of England. I didn't go to the Church of England. Now wait. Not until I went to the St. Mary's National School, and that was Church of England School.
How long were you?
We went to Wesley.
Wesley Chapel?
Yes, Wesley Chapel School before. But the Methodists, the Church of England was on Abbey Street. You go down a big hill like this. There's nothing but great big steps to go down to the beach and the dock.
What was the address? Where, in the house that you're talking
We
about?
were in Daniel Place then, number one
Daniel
Daniel Place, number one.
There was another address you mentioned yesterday of where you lived after that.
The Forest South Place, Folly.
That's the one I wanted
Yeah.
to know. Now, we're going to stop.
Court off Marlborough, like this.
Mhm.
The road was coming down, but this was the street that goes in here. It was 6 houses there, and across the road wasn't much wider than this, that road. And there I started from way down the bottom and come right up. And when I left, I was parlor maid. Parlor maid or upstairs maid.
That took about 4 years.
Oh yes, easy.
4 years.
But I would go out babysitting. I would go out to Daniel's and babysit for their baby every night while they had the Daniel's store down on Market Jew. And I was only 12-year-old then.
This was before you went out into service.
Oh yeah.
And who were these people that you worked for in the service?
Well,
when you were in
Mrs.
service?
Nichols, I worked for them. He was the gamekeeper to King Edward. They came down from London, and they lived in Marazion first. And then he was out hunting with the men, and he fell out of their little trap and broke his neck.
And
He died.
while you were there, did this happen before?
That happened before.
Uh-huh.
And then they moved from Marazion and went into Prince Albert to live. And this house was on, how do you tell the street now? It was a house down on the near not Chindower. Yes, Chindower. Down where a little way off from where the railroad station was. I can't remember the name of the street now. You dip the highway. I don't remember the street at all. So that's where I went. And they were very wonderful people to work for. Of course, I was in training. You have to have your training. Just like to do anything else, you have to have the training for that. It's a servant girl. The servant girl worked with people like that. You have to have training. And then I got up old enough that I could set the table and wait on them, pass the stuff to the table. The stuff would be brought up in a lift from the kitchen up to the dining room, up to the living room. And in the living room, they'd be taken out and put in the dining room. It was a lovely big home.
Must have been. They have so many girls.
Yeah, lovely big home.
Well, what we're going to do now...
And still we had to come in at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I was reading one of these old-time storybooks here. They had Grace that sent for them. They are good old days. And it said there we had to be in at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock was the time. And several things there that I had told her that was written there in that book. There's some different people writing their story. And I met him up on the Market Jew. And Ada Takir was his niece. And I was with another girl called Ellen Drew, and she was somewhere back relative of their family. I don't know where. And they said to Ellen, they said to Ada, where are you going? Ada was cooking a big house in Alexander Road. And I said, well, she said, I'm going home now. I got to be in 9 o'clock. I haven't served dinner yet. So she left. And then when he said to Ellen Drew, where are you going? She said, well, I'm going in to the pork shop. And he turned to me and he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. He said, I'm going home with you. And that's where I met you. And we walked down and we came down through Liskedgick. And before I got home, that Ellen Drew was in to tell my mother to whom I was with. And she was furious because it was a man from the United States. She didn't say it was some distant relative of their family, right? So when I came in, she said, who was you with? I said, I was with Ada's uncle. What? I said, yes. She said, is it the Yankee that comes from Africa? I said, he's not a Yankee. I said, he's an Englishman. He came from St. John's. Well, we had a little different light given to us. So I told her who he was. And Ada and Mary used to come to our house every week. Every time they were out of service, their time out, they'd come home. They called that home. And, you know. So she was fully satisfied then that it was all right. Otherwise, she was very much perturbed because I know they had come home and done very dirty work and left the girls.
Yeah.
So it was, he was home then, you see, for a little while. He was home then and we were married. I met him on my birthday. It was my birthday, the 15th September. And
I'll stop.
And I went down to Rickman's store in Lorium, and I told this young woman here that flight I was in, and she said, "Well, I'll help you. Come on," she said. "Look." And I said I wanted some little thin, long dresses. She'd sew me sheeting, and I sewed that all by hand. Put the tiny lace at the bottom. They were very nice, all right, but it wasn't what I wanted. And I had 50 yards of flannel, and I made all her baby clothes, even her diapers, and sewed them by hand. I had all the time in the world. I was up in there by myself, right?
Well, you were only there between. Where did Dad work when you were in Lorium?
He worked at Tamarack Mine.
And then after that,
he went back to Cliff again.
And then Mabel was born there.
Yeah.
Then you left there and went to Copper City.
Copper City.
Copper City.
Yeah. You see, he worked then for a mining company, the Cliff Mining Company.
Now, this little house, the foundation of which we walked around.
That's the one I came to when I came to first.
That was the first house.
First house I came to. Okay. I came out on the Kevena Central Railroad with Frank Shanoff was the conductor, and we drove down there. And when I come out, you could see the house, you could see the station and the train from the house. And Mary said, Pa said, that was Mary. Mary said, well, she's not going to stay here. But I did stay. Right? So we stayed there until I went to Lorium. And that was before Christmas, because I remember making saffron cake in Lorium and serving Millie back. And she said she never ate cake like that before. It was like fruit cake. So then in May month, Barry came up to see me. We could only go if there's somebody with a horse and buggy or come up with a dray from the Tamarack store. So she came up to see me and she saw me. I was sitting down sewing when she came in. She said, you're coming down with me. You're not staying here by yourself like this. Nothing doing. Well, that was May month and Mabel was born the eldest. Then we moved up to Cliff. Moved from there. I went to this great big rambling house of some doctor up on the hill from Cliff. And we lived there. We split the house. We each, the office he had was split in half like. And her stuff was over there and mine was over here. And what, if she wanted something, what I didn't have, she'd go and take it from there, and I do the same thing for her. Till the team come in wintertime, this weather, they would not come down too often because it was 16 or 18 miles from Calumet. And then we had a big order in the both of us. And between them, then they brought the water in between them. We did the washing. In the dining room was a hard coal eater, and we paid the coal between us, Mary and I. And I don't get the rent. I don't know who paid that. I can't tell you now.
It was a mining company house. They probably took it out of your pay.
Most likely they did. It was a mining company house.
Okay, let's quit for now.
Yeah.
So your voice won't get too...
They would have a surprise party on somebody, and they all knew it before. And I looked up and said to one of them, I'd never have asked you to run it. Oh, no. Nobody never know a surprise party. Because I said, you tell them all before ahead. Right? But this one they didn't. And they added on me. And I was sitting up at the stove and I was quite far on with the boy. And Doc came to the door. And the men come to that door. They come up the hill that way. The women come to this way. And I stood up to him and I said, what are you laughing at? Because I suppose, and I couldn't get it out of me. So all these women were coming in. So,
Charlie.
she's going to get a drink in a cup. She could not. Here, you, get out, Charlie. Come on, Charlie, get out. You get out. So they had a surprise party. They said, we did surprise her. And then when Mabel was a little girl, oh well, not very old, you see, she was born, that's when she was christened. She was born down the cliff. And I went down to church, and Isaac Bulcock preached. He was an old man, but he preached. And he said, what did he say to me? We will see you this afternoon. I come over and I said to Mary, you know the minister's coming here this afternoon? She didn't say anything. She was surprised. She didn't say anything. I don't think they even told her. But she told the minister, he wanted to christen Mabel. She said, well, when her mother is ready, she wants to be christened too, because I did not know if I was christened. I never heard my parents say anything. So I thought, well, I'm not going on all my life and not know it. Even if you're christened twice, it's better to be not at all. So, but then the whole church, they said, we're going up to the hill this afternoon to see the minister take Mrs. Olive in his arms and christen her. And believe me, that great room was full. And I knew then, I didn't know none of this hardly. I knew that they were going to do it sometime. Until I heard one of them say, get me a bowl of water. Then I knew what was what. So, that's when we both were was baptized. And Pa, if you notice the writing, wrote out did you notice it?
No, I didn't.
It's
his writing.
Yes, writing. He said, come on, write it out. Yeah. Look, I said, don't mind, you can say me.
Of course that's Dad's writing.
Huh?
Of course that's his
Yeah,
writing.
this is right. He wrote them out. I think we'll try to find it.
He wrote a very nice,
Oh, Pa, he did have
lovely writing.
double handwriting. He was a man when he done something, he done it.
Watching.
My father just go to school after he was 10-year-old. And he took care of all the stonemason lodge.
Well, you can learn.
You can learn. He said, learn yourself. You don't have to be in school, he said, to learn these things. All the Mason's lodge. So there's an awful lot of memories.
I'm gonna.
And then his niece was Lady Shields. In London. And then I would assort all the bills that he had. They were paid in one pile, and they were not paid in the other pile. All his bills, all his papers. And I did that for 6 weeks, for 6 pennies a week. That was your pay. But they wanted me in the worst way to go with them to Australia. She wanted me to go to London to go in nursing. But I said no. She said, if you go into service, she said, we know you will have to scrub to start. But she said, to scrub a dirty hospital and to start, no, a child. But I wish many times I had gone. It was rough going then, going to a nurse at that time. Very rough going. And she wouldn't let me go to Australia. She said, no, I'm not the age to go away from home yet. So she was very good that way, very good. 6 things a week. You'd come home with it, you'd put it on the mantelpiece. And they would take care of you, whatever you had to buy, that was put there. And I remember he gave me, I don't know if Mabel remembers it, you know, he gave me a little case, traveling case, like, to keep all my mail in. And I brought that out here with me. And if that's been lost or destroyed or something, I don't know where it went to. And all the letters with it. I don't know where it went to. But that I did enjoy. I enjoyed working there. It was more than me in the house, you know, the housekeeper and all there. But I'd get over there in the morning and sort his mail. But that was the real first job I had. And I was home.